Hi, Dave here from Red Smoke Barbecue, and on today's episode we're going to be unboxing and building the Pro Smoke offset smoker, which is available here in Australia at BBQs Galore. Now, if you've been following us on this channel for a while or on our Instagram, you'll know that I've been using the Pro Smoke for a bit over a year now, and I'm really happy with it. Now, it happens to be my good mate Paulius' 40th, and his friends and family decided to get together and buy him a offset smoker, and why not the Pro Smoke? I'm happy with it, and I know he will be too. So we've jumped online, we've purchased it already. We just need to go and collect it. We're going to bring it back. We're going to open the box and have a look at the contents. We're going to build it, and then the best part is we're going to deliver it to him. Now, he has no idea about this smoker. It's a complete surprise. So stick around and check out the episode. All right, we're back with our Pro Smoke now, and one tip I will give you is take someone to give you a hand with this thing. It weighs 110 kilos, so it's pretty heavy and it's pretty awkward, but we've got it back home safe and sound. Let's cut the tape and see what's in the box. All right, so we finished unpacking the Pro Smoke and we've laid the contents out here on the ground. Now, I must admit there's a lot more here than what I thought, but everything you see here was packed neatly into the chamber of the smoker, which is pretty impressive. Now, one tip I will say is when you unload the barrel from the bottom of the box, keep the two little feet that are in the bottom so you can sit the smoker back on top of it. It just makes it easy to handle, because the first steps in the instructions want us to remove this lid and start working on the inside of the barrel. Now, I'll lay out the contents in the description below of all the parts that are here, so you can check yours against what we have here, but pretty comprehensive list you'll find in the book. Now, the instructions say that all we require is a Phillips head screwdriver, an adjustable shifter, and all the nuts in here are 10 mil, so 10 mil spanner will do the job. So let's get into it. We'll read through these instructions now, we'll check our first step, and we'll start working on this chamber. All right, so we've done our first three steps, which was removing the lid to the cooking chamber, putting in our warming rack support, which is really straightforward, 3 simple bolts, and then we've attached our first 2 legs. So there's a short leg and a long leg, and the short leg goes to the side where the firebox is going to be, and it's got the large hole at the bottom of your cooking chamber. So pretty straightforward. The next step is we're going to put our other 2 legs on and our bottom grate. So let's get into that, knock over those steps, and we'll keep building. All right, so we've got our 4 legs on and our grate on now. Now, one tip I will say is when you put these 4 legs on, you put the first 2 on, just do them up finger tight. Don't over tighten them. That way you can move the legs around to get them sort of square to line up to this rack. So it's a little bit fiddly, probably 2-person job, make it a lot easier, but pretty straightforward. So now we've got that done, we're going to attach our wheels and then we'll be able to flip it over and stand it up. All right, so we've completed the first half a dozen steps and we've got the smoker back to an upright position. Its wheels are on and its legs are attached. The next step is to build the firebox. So let's get cracking on the firebox. And once we've got that assembled, we can attach that to the cooking chamber. All right, so there it is. So we built the firebox, so pretty straightforward. We've got our vent on the side here, really just attaching the two pieces together, the ash box to the bottom, and the little hook on the back there, our door stopper there. So don't put the door on, and just make sure to leave 2 screws on the end. It's halfway screwed in on either side of that cutting out, so that we can hang it onto the side of the cooking chamber. So we're about to do that now, so let's get that attached. All right, so the weather beaters yesterday, we had a tropical downpour which halted proceedings, but we're back onto it today and we've got the smoker pretty much done. So the heavy construction is really complete. Once you attach the firebox to the main cooking chamber, you got your legs, your wheels on, your chimney and your handles, and we went through and added in a probe, vent covers, etc. It's pretty much ready to go. So from this point on, we really just need to apply all our grates and our vents, and then we need to put the lids back on. Now, my suggestion is if you need to move this, do that now and put it into place where it needs to go. Given that most of the construction's done, you won't need much more room, but it's still relatively light at this point. You'll notice when you unpack the boxes that the grills are quite heavy, those boxes, and that's what's going to add the weight. So given that we need to get this onto a trailer tomorrow and I'm on my deck, I'm going to take this and put it onto the ground so we can wheel it around and load it onto the trailer. So let's get that done and I'll show you where you need to put all your grills. Okay, so we've moved our smoker outside now so we can load up all the grill grates. Now you'll find one in there, there's 4 grates that look similar and one will be slightly smaller than the other 3, and that's the one that we need for our firebox. So that's where we're going to start. So the firebox grill grate goes in first and sits in down the bottom. And then we've got these 2 smaller ones with a little indentation on it, and they go in on top, and they're our grilling grates. Once you've got those grilling grates in, we're ready to put the lid on, and now we can move to the main cooking chamber. Okay, so we finished our firebox there, pretty straightforward, and we've screwed the lid back on and it's done and complete. Now the next part is the cooking chamber. Now this is pretty straightforward, however there are a few parts. So these are your charcoal plates. These go on the bottom first. Line up like so. There's 3 of those, and then on top of that we have 3 of the charcoal grates. So let's get them in. All right, so now that we've got our charcoal plates in, it's time to put our charcoal grates. Now, there's 3 of these ones. They're slightly lighter than the main cooking grates, and that's how you know the difference. So they just sit in directly on top. All right, now we've got those in. That makes it into a charcoal barbecue. So if you ever want to put your hot rocks in the bottom and just do some plain barbecuing, you can. If you're not going to use them, take them out, leave them in. Doesn't really matter. It won't affect your smoking or cooking. The next part is we've got to add in our heat deflector plates, and then we can put on grilling grates on top of that. So let's get that done. All right, so the next thing is to grab these heavy plates here, which are our baffles or heat deflector plates. Start with this one here with the 4 holes, and it simply slides in on an angle, sits against those hooks, and will sit up on a bit of an angle closest to the firebox. So let's put it in. Okay, so once you've got that one in, just grab the other ones, doesn't matter the order now, and just sit them in on the shelf. All right, so with the baffles, just put them in evenly spaced apart to begin with. You can move them around as you learn how to use the smoker. You'll work out where the hot spots are, where you want to control your heat and your smoke. So for me, I've just put them in evenly spaced apart. You can set them up however you like. There's no right and wrong way to do it. Next, we just got to add our cooking grates to the top, and then our warming rack. All right, cooking grates. 3 of those. They're the heaviest ones in the box, so you know which ones they are. And these just go in on top. Nothing special to it. Just put them in, start at one end, work your way along.
Yep.
Okay, heating rack, last step of the inside of the cooking chamber. Pretty straightforward. It just slots into the 2 holes on that bracket that we put in right back at step number 1. So let's get that in. All right, so one question that comes up in smoking forums all the time is what is the accuracy of the standard gauge that comes with your smoker? Now, this isn't a question that's limited to the Pro Smoke. It comes up pretty regularly. So what I've done here is I've taken the gauge and I've placed it in a hot glass of water, and it's registered at 61 degrees. I've got my digital thermometer here, and if I place that in the water, it's come in at 61.3. So as you can see, pretty accurate. What does make a big difference is where that gauge is located. Now on the Pro Smoke, it's located at the top of the lid, pretty much top of the cooking chamber. So it's going to register quite hot because obviously hot air rises. If I was to take this probe and just rest it on some meat below that, you'll probably get a slightly lower reading. Another thing you can try too is if you've got a 2-probe digital thermometer is put a probe at each end, measure the heat close to the firebox, measure the heat closest to the chimney, average that out, and that'll give you about what your cooking temperature is going to be where your meat is located. All right, so we're all finished here. So we've got our serving rack on, we've put our lid back on, we've screwed our temperature gauge in. So we're ready to go and deliver this now. All we need to do is load it up in the trailer and we can go and deliver this birthday present. Okay, so we've got the smoker loaded. The kids have done a great job of getting it all dressed up. So now it's time to go and deliver the goods. All right guys, so that's been an awesome morning. We've just gotten back from delivering the Pro Smoke to Paul. He's rarely lost for words, but he's pretty speechless there, and that's a good thing. It means that we really nailed that gift. So really looking forward to seeing what he can produce out of the Pro Smoke. Now, if you like this episode, we really appreciate the thumbs up, and better yet, we'd appreciate your support to the channel by giving us a subscribe. And you can also check us out on Instagram at Red Smoke BBQ. Now, until next time, jump over, enjoy some of the other episodes on our channel, and we'll see you then.